There's something about helping people change their lives that I love doing it.
You know, I didn't know I was different until I moved out to the suburbs. All of a sudden I was the N-word. I had to fit in, and I had never felt that before. I just tried to be undeniable in my sports. If I'm in the first line of the hockey team, it can't be that I'm kept out because of somebody's own ignorance. It was my goal in life to go to college. When I got injured, that just brought me in a different direction. And doing drugs and selling drugs was what I came out of it with. Everybody likes to see the drug dealer at the party. It filled that hole that I had, to be needed and to be part of something. Started having attitudes with my parents. I moved out, got a place over by my high school. I just lived on my own. I still graduated high school. At that point I was doing methamphetamine and a lot of party drugs. You know, every conversation was about drugs, getting drugs, sourcing them, whatever it was. And everybody I hung out with, that was their life too. I'd go through a raid and be like, that's it, I'm done. And I'd go to treatment. That would last for a little bit, but there's a whole lot of pieces that have to be put together to have a successful recovery. Just because a person's in addiction and living in a criminal lifestyle doesn't mean they're not a good person. I've disappointed plenty of other people in my life, but every time I disappoint them, I'm disappointing myself. And I just got really tired of that. I finally went to treatment before I went to prison. I didn't want to die. It's pretty much the only solution, is get clean or die. I got out in November 2016 and went to Summit in February of 2017.
It's different at Summit. These are students who just wouldn't have the same chance elsewhere. Even the financial model we use for tuition is often a draw for people who would have just normally been marginalized right out of the education system.
I was able to go there, not get debt, and build something out of it.
It's amazing to hear Marcel's story because I know that his story starts the same way that all of the Summit stories start. It started with that information session when he sat in the ugly orange chairs in our cafeteria and learned about Summit's programs.
I picked electrical because it's always evolving. New technology comes out constantly, and I figured, hey, this will keep me engaged because I can continuously learn new things, and then I can start to specialize.
I think the first thing that they buy into is that this is maybe the first place where they feel like success is possible. You're learning from the best in an environment that we hope is the best for you.
It wasn't just a 10,000-foot view of what it is to be an electrician. You knew that you could do something with what you learned there. It gave me the opportunity to show up, be where I'm supposed to be, and perform and do what I'm supposed to do.
We want you to be successful because we know that that impacts the community and your family as well.
So I went straight to the electrical union, and the great thing about that for somebody coming from my background is everybody you work with has gone through the same thing that you're going through, and then you feel like you fit in. A lot of times in my life I've felt the imposter syndrome. I personally recommend Summit to people that have backgrounds like me, and I think a lot of people feel that there's like a natural cutoff time, and everybody has a different time, like, oh, it's too late. If you're still breathing, it's not too late.
When I see things like we saw with, the marches and protests, particularly after George Floyd's murder, those events have the opportunity to reshape a city. And what we've seen is that there's a lot of talk out there. When you come to Summit, we know you're serious about doing something different.
If we bring more opportunities to people, we'll start seeing changes in our community.
And it's an opportunity, I think, for a donor to realize that they can play an important part in that happening.